Welcome to this conversation on Business Redefined, your weekly most comprehensive look at the world of business and economics. We are privileged to have Mr. Adil Youssefi, the Regional Chief Executive Officer for Liquid Intelligent Technologies. We want to make sense of the future of Africa's digital landscape. Welcome on set.
Thank you very much.
I must begin by congratulating you on the bond issuance, which was earlier this year, raising about $900 million, considering the timing of it and the subscription that you attracted. Any thoughts around that in terms of how that has impacted your performance now as a company?
Well, as you know, the bond was very well received by the markets. It was oversubscribed. So we were very happy with the performance of the bond. And it allows us to actually implement our strategy and get on with our work to serve our customers around our footprint.
Absolutely. Now, talking about your strategy, the switch from liquid telecom to liquid intelligent technologies, just help us make sense of this. And while you answer that, I'm curious to understand, was COVID-19 a catalyst for this transformation?
To some extent, yes. Liquid telecom across our footprint on the continent and in Kenya and East Africa region has been known for being a state-of-the-art provider of connectivity and data center solution. And we have always seen that obviously the market is going towards digital transformation. Our customers and the economy at large are looking at the fourth industrial revolution and seeing how they can harness the benefit and the opportunities that these new technologies are bringing. And it has been in our roadmap, and it has been in our customers' roadmap to actually bring in new state-of-the-art solutions to help them along this digital transformation. And yes, unfortunately, the pandemic has struck and has accelerated all of this.
And when you talk about the strategy, you are essentially broadening the offering as far as digital solutions are concerned, and largely on cloud and data centers. Just help us make sense of that.
Well, if you look at businesses today, they have to compete in an ever challenging environment with disruptions coming from new startups, with customers being more demanding, with the need to actually offer their services digitally, online, on multiple platforms. And they can't rise up to these challenges and harness the opportunities if they don't digitize quickly their internal operations, but also their external reach to their customers. And the only way to do that is to really invest heavily in IT capabilities, be it on the cloud, public cloud, or a local cloud, or a hybrid environment, and in new services or new IT solutions that allows them to automate their processes and bring their solutions to their customers. And the way to do it is to transform digitally. And here, data center assets, cloud services, be it around managed solutions, be it around ERPs on the cloud, be it around tailored applications, around verticals, be it around Internet of Things, etc. All of this actually is part of the mix that businesses are considering. And what we want to say with this business transformation, for us, it's not just rebranding, it's a business transformation. We want to say to our customers and to the market that we are ready to support them in this journey, not only with our assets, but also with a new portfolio of intelligent technologies to help them in this journey.
And one of the challenges that a number of companies which are pivoting in light of COVID-19 have experienced and they've told us about is the fact that whereas you are undergoing a transformation in strategy, then you confront the digital divide, which either the income levels are considerably depressed and therefore you are offering new products but the price point becomes a challenge. How do you navigate that?
Well, on this one, you need to look at the different segments, right? I mean, if you look at the consumers, obviously the consumers are you need to have the right price point for your service to take up. And if you are looking at a volume play, then obviously that price point has to be lowest possible. And we feel that these intelligent solutions can allow our customers to bring their costs down significantly, thus allowing them to price lower in the market. If you don't have to invest heavily in your CapEx infrastructure to build in servers and applications and storage and security, and rather put your applications on the cloud, then you're saving a significant amount of money. Then you can now redirect either in reducing your prices or invest in to go to a new market or capturing new customers. So I don't see digital transformation as in contradiction to the need to actually be more competitive in the market. Quite the contrary. Yes, it requires some investment, but as they say, no pain, no gain. There is an investment required, but ultimately the benefits are there in terms of making businesses, small and large, more competitive and more importantly, more appealing to their target customers.
Okay. And talking about the strategy and the capex involved in it, data centers, for example, which you're quite heavy on, are extremely capital intensive. And granted, I mean, Liquid Intelligent had a very successful bond issuance earlier this year. But I'm just curious to understand, from a capital position, how comfortable you'd say you are even as you undergo this transformation?
Well, every investment we look at in terms of returns, right? So in terms of our expansion around our data center, every time we assess a location, we looked at different parameters around cost, but also around demand. But as you said, data centers are very capital intensive, and every time we make an investment, we assess an investment, we need to make sure that it makes business sense, that there is demand out there, and we can actually serve this demand in a competitive way. And we've been very pleased with the performance of our data centers here in Nairobi. Our Africa Data Center, Nairobi, has been the pioneer of data centers in Kenya and in the region. We are very fortunate to host most of the large businesses in ADC Nairobi, along with all the large carriers and large OTTs who are actually present here in Nairobi. And this allows us to actually offer these OTTs and these large enterprises a very seamless and quick experience to their customers. When you access your favorite email application on your phone or your mobile banking app, chances are that you're going to ADC Nairobi and coming back, and it's just down Mombasa Road. So we have shown that we know how to make the investment and make them successful in Nairobi, in Johannesburg, in Cape Town, in Harare, in Kigali, and our intention is to do that in other markets as well.
Okay. And what's your assessment of the competitive landscape? And why I ask this question is because increasingly we are seeing a number of companies coming into this space, and they are coming in with either their PE-backed or DFI funding, and they're really aggressive in terms of their expansion. So what's your assessment of the lay of the land from a competitive standpoint and your positioning in it?
I think competition is very good, and whenever there is competition, it means that there is an interest in the market. And I think in Africa, we need all the investment we can get from people who want to come and invest and provide solutions and new services to the market. So we welcome competition. We feel that we've been a trailblazer in terms of our industries. We were the pioneers of final connectivity in most of our market, the pioneers of data centers in most of our market, and we're very pleased that others are now following suit and bringing in new investment to Kenya and to the region and to the continent. And we stand ready to compete because ultimately we feel it's for the benefit of everyone.
Going back to the subject of COVID-19, not only has this presented challenges, there are also numerous opportunities. And I just would like to understand from where you sit, what are some of the key opportunities you see? And even as you transform, as you are right now, how are you now tapping into them?
The pandemic has had a difficult impact on everyone, on people's lives. Many of us lost people around us. So I first want to empathize with our customers and with the country, and to say that Liquid Telecom has always stood to support our community and our customers as we all battle this pandemic. In terms of the impact of the pandemic on our businesses, it has been mixed. Obviously, we've seen offices downgrading or shutting down because of remote work. So that part of our business was impacted. But on the other hand, remote work has taken up sharply, and also businesses, small and large, have now accelerated their business transformation or digital transformation, as we said earlier. And this has opened opportunities for us, obviously, to support them in this journey. And we are privileged and honored that we can do our bit in actually helping these businesses transform so that they can battle the effects of this pandemic, but also capture the opportunities that it presents.
As we close the part one of this conversation, Kenya has a very, and not just Kenya, the entire continent has a very vast micro, small and medium-sized space in terms of businesses. And anytime we have this sort of solutions which you are advancing, the typical MSME will tell you, oh, it looks like it's for the top-tier businesses and not ourselves. Would you have any comment around that in terms of how you are reaching out to this mid and low tier segments of the economy?
You're right, actually. Most of the market is really driven by small and medium enterprises. And here, obviously, we have solutions for this segment. It's not only for the large enterprises. In our data centers, you can have allocation space for as small as a unit, which is basically an equivalent of a PC, of a personal computer. The public cloud services are on demand, so they can start from as low as 1 gigabyte of storage and one virtual machine that which an SME can on which an SME can run its applications. So I think it's a myth that these digital services are only reserved for large enterprises. And from the studies and the surveys that we can see, actually Kenyans know exactly that this is not true. Kenyan SMEs and enterprises are actually one of the top ones that are using cloud services on the continent. And we have solutions that we believe are attractive to every segment of the market.
Part of the transformation which you are undertaking is about expansion to markets such as DR, Congo, and Nigeria. And why those markets are of interest to me is because of how starkly different they are. DR would look like a largely underserved market. Nigeria is fairly relatively advanced. How do you then position yourself straddling these two sides?
Well, we believe we have the capabilities and assets to allow us to contribute into these two markets. And you're right, they're quite different. If you look at DRC, it's one of the largest countries in terms of service areas, but and in terms of potential, and surprisingly, it's extremely underserved in terms of telecommunication infrastructure. You have very large cities which are still served by satellite connectivity for their internet needs, and obviously you can appreciate the negative impact it has in the potential for growth for the economy and for the quality of life of people living there. So we're very pleased that we have actually undertook over the last 12 months a significant investment drive to extend our fiber network, what we call from east to west, so all the way from Mombasa to the Ghana shores and Ivory Coast shores, and obviously crossing East Africa, DRC, and onto the Atlantic Ocean. We are again a trailblazer there, one of the first to do so. We are very pleased with this investment. We have the full support of the local authorities and government, and we are excited to be able to bring actually what we believe will be life-changing experience to the DRC through state-of-the-art fiber connectivity into the country. As far as Nigeria is concerned, obviously it's a very well-served market, and we have launched recently our solutions there. We are first focusing on our data center solutions. We are actually busy building a large facility there, which will, we believe, actually contribute to the digital transformation of the economy and the country. We see a lot of potential, and we believe with this asset and with our capabilities, we will contribute to the advancement of the fourth industrial revolution in Nigeria.
Okay. What are some of the examples that you can give us in terms of the business lines where your solutions have had an impact as far as the deepening of the penetration of the digital economy, for example, is concerned?
Well, if you look, for example, to the financial sector, banks, insurance companies must continuously actually be on the lookout for cyber threats. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, we have seen an uptick of attempts by fraudulent bodies to actually penetrate the environment of businesses. And through our solutions, and we've seen quite a good take-up from our customers, and especially the financial sector, through our cybersecurity solutions. We are offering actually a suite of managed firewalls, managed on-prem solutions, managed remote access solutions, which allow businesses actually, while offering access to their, for example, employees remotely, still protecting their very vulnerable and sensitive environment with these solutions. That's one example in the financial sector. Another example in the FMCG sector. With the pandemic, some actually FMCG customers have seen again an uptick in the demand, right? Because people are buying more online or buying more certain type of services, and they had actually to accelerate the migration of their customer relationship management systems, what we call CRMs, into the cloud to manage these digital touch points and the need to automate. And we've been very fortunate to help several of our customers migrate these CRMs from an on-prem environment into the cloud, be it a public cloud or a hybrid environment where they have a setup in our data center or their data center, and then a second setup onto the cloud. Maybe one last example is something for which we got an award last week at East Africa.com, which is linked to our IoT network. In Kenya, we have deployed an Internet of Things network covering over 70% of the population. And one of our customers is using the capabilities of the IoT network to actually have weather stations across several fields, agricultural fields in the country, and improving the way they actually water the fields, they put fertilizers and manage the crops, ultimately yielding to better output per area, and this helps obviously with food security, with reducing prices, etc.
Quite a bit of work you're doing there, and let me just ask, now that you've mentioned that, how much are you having to scale your infrastructure just because of the transformation you're undertaking and some of the solutions you're now putting out?
That's a good question. Absolutely. I mean, for us to deploy these solutions, we have to deliver them over a digital infrastructure. So as Liquid Telecom across the continent, we have rolled out over 100,000 kilometers of fiber. And this is an asset which is completely owned and managed by us. And this allows us actually to trust the environment on which we are delivering these intelligent solutions. And obviously, whenever we are talking to our customer, the first thing is to see how we expand this network to their premises, either through fiber or through other means, wireless or satellite, for example, so that they can benefit from these solutions and also be integrated to this network where, for example, in Kenya, we have over 5,000 kilometers of fiber. In the region, in the East Africa region, we have over 10,000. So we have these intelligent technologies have to go hand in hand, or intelligent solutions have to go hand in hand with the telecommunication network and with the data center environment. And this is where we feel these three components, so to speak, that we bring to the table as our assets and our expertise allow us to actually provide the right solutions to our customers.
In a region, or a continent, I should say, which is still as cash heavy as we are in terms of transactions, one of the challenges that we have when it comes to taking up digital solutions tends to be the question of trust. Yeah, and we speak to many people, they'll tell you, oh, I would like to have that, but I'm concerned about the security, etc. How do you manage these concerns from the public?
I think it's a very valid concern, not only from the public, but also from businesses. We spoke about cybersecurity in the financial sector. If you look at the cloud environment, for example, today the offering is really around the large public clouds. These public cloud platforms, such as Microsoft Azure and Amazon AWS and others, actually see multi-million or multi-billion dollars investment in security every year. So there is no company actually that can match the security levels of these public clouds. And this is basically where we come in and say to our customers, whereby having either a completely public environment or a hybrid environment where you have access to the public cloud and a local environment secured through our cybersecurity solutions, you are getting the best possible environment. So I think it's, again, another myth where people feel that when they see something or what's close to them, it's more secure. But if it's not secured properly, even if it's on the top floor, then there's no point in having it near. Public cloud is quite secure with the type of investment as I mentioned, and with the cybersecurity solutions in our portfolio that we are providing, we are assuring our customers that their data is safe and they can actually trust and be easy that as they're doing their digital transformation, security is taken care of.
And by the way, now that you mentioned that, I think it was in the third quarter of last year when we saw, Liquid launched the cybersecurity business line. Just curious to understand, 8 months down the line, how is the performance? How is the uptick?
The uptick has been very good. As I said, we've seen a lot of interest from the financial sector. But we see other sectors as well having a strong interest. And the interest is really around having a managed environment where the customers don't have to invest themselves in their hardware and have something local, but having a hybrid environment where there's a managed security solutions on the cloud and also a secured environment in their premises. And this really to actually deal with, as I said before, the fact that they need to manage remote working of their staff and also open more online and digital channels for their customers to consume their services.
Great. And because the transformation to liquid intelligent technologies has been, we've been having this conversation for a bit of a while now. How is the market responding to your repositioning and the strategy shift for the company?
I think the reception has been very good. We have obviously spoken to our customers and shared with them the intention and the benefit that we see from this transformation, from this business transformation. As I said before, the pandemic has accelerated the shift, not only for us but for our customers, and we believe that this pledge that we are making through this business transformation to actually ensure that we bring in intelligence, African intelligence, to our market matches the expectations from our customers as they look at battling the challenges and harnessing the opportunities that we currently see with the pandemic.
All right. As we draw to the close of our conversation, one of the things which is shaping public discourse in Kenya right now is the fact that the central bank has just published a vision for the next 5 years for the payments infrastructure. And one of the propositions inside there is open banking, really to democratize it, if I could call it, and create a deepening penetration as far as digital solutions is concerned. How do you see companies such as yourselves playing in that space?
I think we have a key role to play there. Again, Kenya, through this vision, has shown that it's far-sighted in terms of what technology can bring to the market, to the economy, and to improving the lives of citizens. The Kenya Vision 2030, the Big Four agenda, all center toward better industrialization, better access to services to citizens. And this is obviously access to easy and secure and state-of-the-art financial instruments is key in delivering this objective. And as Liquid Intelligent Technologies Kenya and Group, we believe that through our assets and our expertise, we are uniquely positioned to actually serve banks, financial institutions, SACCOs, insurance companies, to digitally transform and bring in these digital solutions. For example, if a bank wants to run what we call time-sensitive applications, they can do that in our data center here in Nairobi, where for 1 or 2 milliseconds, anyone can actually access the application wherever they are on the country. and I don't know, make a transaction, check their balances, take up a loan, etc., sign up for savings, etc., etc. So, so our data center assets, our intelligent technology solutions, and our infrastructure, our expansive infrastructure in the country, I believe will allow us to support the financial industry and the large economy to digitally transform and align to the vision which the central bank and the country has at large, where the digital economy can look like for Kenya.
That point by Mr. Adil El Youssefi takes us to the close of our conversation on Business Redefined, where we have been looking at the digital landscape and the transformation from liquid telecom to liquid intelligent technologies. Let's wait and see what is in store for us by way of solutions as far as advancing our digital capabilities is concerned. Up next is a Markets Report.